I see Rahul and see and I know it's the two white guys that give you the trouble all the time.
Hey, I was on here early. Don't blame me.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that. My name's Charlie. My name's Charlie. And who are
Hey,
you?
Been forwarded to
Charlie,
voicemail.
what's up, man? I'm Mike.
Mike? Nice to meet you, Mike.
Nice to meet you too, buddy. Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Same here. So, what's going on? You being interviewed for what particular reason? You're going to be the next Secretary of State, or are you going to be?
Certainly not. No, certainly not. So I started working with Rahul at the licensing center. So
Oh,
we were talking sports a little bit, and he asked me if I'd be willing to come on, and I was like, "Yeah, man, why not?"
okay, cool, cool. How do you think the Phillies are going to do against the Mets?
You know what?
Scary, isn't it?
My hope is that these few days off will give them some rest, and they come back and they pick up right where they left off.
Right.
But then there's always that chance that they come
They
back
start
and
striking out.
it takes them a
Okay.
minute to get back into the swing of things, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And they can't do what they did last year. All of a sudden, stop hitting and just striking out all the time.
No, no.
You know?
I mean, you got to be able to play small ball too.
Absolutely, and I've seen them do that. With the bunting and moving runners and stuff like that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to be able to play. You got to be able to play the real baseball
Yeah,
along with the home run baseball. You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yep. And I feel like they need to cut down there for a little bit, they were doing their base running was kind of a little sketchy. So I feel like they got to get that in order too. Just,
That's
not making, the mistakes that they shouldn't make.
We
true.
um,
Absolutely.
okay. Let's get on with the show.
All right.
Uh,
Is Basil here?
no, he's not gonna come on tonight.
Okay.
Uh, okay. Uh, we are live on Rockin' with Rahul and the Three Amigos. We got a special guest. His name is Michael. Can you introduce yourself to the listeners, Michael?
Hey, everybody. My name is Mike. I work with Raul, and it's a pleasure to be on here tonight. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do now and what you did before? And
As far as like work,
yeah,
okay. So I worked in the medical field for about 18 years. I did mostly emergency medicine and
Are
kind
you
of, what's
are
that?
you a doctor?
No, certainly not. So they call them emergency department technicians.
Oh, okay.
And so we used to be able to, like when I worked there, we used to be able to start IVs and we'd do the EKGs and get the patients hooked up to the monitors and, draw blood, that kind of stuff, just kind of help the
Right.
nurses out a lot. And and then once COVID hit, uh, like it just got to be a lot. And so I worked through COVID and I just kind of got burnt out with the medical field, especially for doing it for so long.
Oh,
And
sure.
I figured when I was going to work angry and I was coming home angry, it was time to find something different. So
Absolutely.
I did a couple odds and ends things in between, but yeah. And then I eventually found the position I'm at now, which is working with Raul at the licensing center.
Oh, that's cool. You work for PennDOT, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool.
yeah, it's fun working at PennDOT.
Yeah, it is. It's good money and good benefits, right, Raul?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. That's the only way to fly.
Yep.
So, Michael, I know you're a big sports fan. So, um, what's your favorite team?
Man, you got to go with the Phillies, right?
Yeah.
Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, Flyers. I mean, if it's Philly, you
Yeah.
know.
For me, it's mainly the Phillies and the Flyers.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, I haven't been into the NBA basketball since like when Larry Bird and McHale and although Danny Ainge, they retired, I kind of just, I mean, that was my team. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then
Right.
when they left, my team left, and I never really got into anybody else like I was into the Celtics.
Okay.
You know, that's just me. I'm not down. I'm not bad mouthing the Sixers or anything by
No,
this.
not at all.
It's just my own personal taste.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
if I
Charlie, that's understandable.
and if I had to say like what my, first sport would be, I'd have to say it was baseball. Like I followed baseball ever since I was, ever since I can remember. I was that kid
Yeah.
who collected baseball cards and, went to
Right.
the Phillies games at Veterans Stadium and, saw Darren Dalton, Mike Schmidt, John Kruk, like all those guys play, so I've been a diehard Phillies fans for as long as I can remember.
Yeah. I remember watching the Phillies 1980 Phillies team that won the World Series
Okay.
against the Kansas
Yeah.
City Royals.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they were a
Like
good team.
I got a ton of like autographed Mike Schmidt stuff, and I like collecting autographed baseballs. Got Charlie Manuel, Harry
Oh,
Callis. So yeah, we have a nice collection.
But
that sounds nice.
Michael, since it's playoffs in MLB, what's your prediction on the National League? Who's going to come out from National League, and what do you think about the American League? Who will be in the World
Oh
Series?
man, well, Raul,
Well,
I'm gonna say the Phillies National League.
right.
I am gonna say I'm a little hesitant. I was talking to Charles about it earlier. The one of two things is going to happen. The Phillies are going to come out and they're going to be hot after
Right.
this break, and I think they'll tear it up, or they're going to come out and they're going to be a
No,
little, they're going to be a little. It's going to take them a minute to get back into the swing of things, which I hope
right.
doesn't happen. But yeah, man, I'm going to go the Phillies all the way. And as far as the American League, wow,
I like the Tigers.
the Tigers are good. The Tigers look good, definitely. I mean, I don't follow the AL as close as I do
Right.
the NL, but I don't know. I'm up to see anybody really.
I
Yeah.
think it's going to be
There's
Tigers
some
or
really good
Yankees.
teams around the league this year, and I just like watching good baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do I. That's something that I thoroughly enjoy. Just watching a really good baseball game.
Mhm.
Good defense,
Yeah.
hitting, small ball, baseball. Baseball. The way that it was meant to be played.
Yeah, and it's good, especially it's good. I like to see the players doing just like the basics, even just the fundamentals.
Oh, yeah.
Even when it just comes down to base running and hitting the cutoff man and stuff like that. When I
Oh,
just like watching. I just like watching baseball how it was meant to be played.
right.
I-
Now I coached a baseball team. The kids were 8 to 10 years old, and we practiced a lot. And we taught the kids how to bunt. We had the kids that couldn't hit or were afraid to swing the bat. We taught them how to bunt.
Okay.
We taught them, you control the bat at the knob, not out here where the head's at with the knob where you're going to lay this bunt down. Just drop that bunt and get your ass up the first base line.
That's right. You
Move
hustle.
everybody up,
Yep. And you don't look at the ball either. You just keep your eyes
Absolutely.
focused on first base and you just truck it down there.
Yeah, drop that bunt and off you go.
Off you go. Yep.
Right now, Mets are playing the Brewers. It's top of the seventh, and Mets are winning 3-2.
Okay.
If the game holds on and Mets win, it's going to be battle between Phillies and Mets.
The Mets aren't going to win tonight, Rahul.
They won't win tonight. Well, they're winning right now.
There's still a few innings of baseball left.
Yeah, but if they win, Phillies play the Mets. I don't want them to play in New York again because
No, I don't either.
because you guys know what happened in June. Sixers played the Knicks, and all the Knicks fans in New York was getting hyped up and crazy about the Knicks.
Oh yeah,
Well, come to Philly.
Yeah.
that's right. Just come home. Come back
So,
to Philly.
so Michael, since basketball season is starting up, what do you think about the Sixers' new addition, Paul George? And
I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I'll root for the Sixers and the Flyers, but I'm not really up to date on like who's coming in and who's going out with those teams. I stay pretty much. I'm up to date on the Phillies and the Eagles. Well, I'm kind of frustrated with the Eagles right now.
Yeah, same here.
Like that first game with Jalen Hurts, and I know they came back and won, but then they beat New Orleans, and then you have that disaster, that debacle last week against the Buccaneers, and it's just
I know. They should have won without certain players.
they should have.
The quarterback, Jalen Hurts. He
Mhm.
had poor fundamentals.
Yes.
He had happy
Yeah.
feet. He's got happy feet. The ball snapped back to him in the shotgun, and the first thing he does is he starts to move.
Mhm.
It's natural to drop your head because you want to see where you're going. And once the quarterback drops his head, he loses the receivers. You know, I mean, he should have it numbered like, crossing pattern 1. We're going to run an arrow out 2, and then we're going to run a fly in there from the trips. We're going to do that. And
Yeah, I think
and get put that ball in the running backs. Put the ball into the running back, pull it back out, and look upfield. The only problem with that is the quarterback is doing two things at one time. He's putting the ball into the running back, and it's a fake. But when he does that, he turns his head. So when he comes back, he has to realign himself with the receivers. And what ends up happening is he ends up rolling out and throwing the ball up the field, regardless of what they had designed to do.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Does that
Yeah.
feel like that?
The Eagles, I feel like you got a strong running back in Saquon Barkley. I
Right.
mean, I feel like you got to get that guy the ball right now because I feel like Hurts is off. I feel like you have Jason Kelsey out, so that's a new dynamic there at center and quarterback. You got a couple key wide receivers out right now.
yeah,
Plus you got I feel like you got the whole Nick Sirianni issue. Like I mean, I think that it's time for him to go. I think it's time to bring in a new head coach. I mean, Jalen Hurts isn't going anywhere. The Eagles just signed him to that huge deal. So
Yeah.
I mean,
and he needs to start reading the blitz. Jalen Hurts.
yeah, man, and he just needs to start showing some emotion too. Like you're supposed to be the leader of this team, and
Right. Hurry up, let's go. Pulling the play,
yeah,
and a scrimmage, clap his hands, boom, the ball snapped.
yeah. I just feel like there's no emotion there with anything, and I don't see any leadership from him. I think he really needs to step up and take control of this team.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that kid, Kellen, whatever the hell his name is, coaching the offense, and he's got the other guy, the older fellow,
Vic Fangio.
coaching the defense. Now, there's something that he's done that pisses me off, and I would feel the same way regardless of who it was. That white defensive back that they got from Wisconsin, who is people are saying he could play corner, he can play safety, he can do a little bit of everything, he can play slot. Something happened in the beginning of practice in the summertime. Something happened, and he's been on Fangio's shit list ever since. I mean, come on. I mean, you got to you have to have a fast memory. You know what I mean? It's got
Mhm.
to go out, get the kid in there because, if you push somebody down and you don't put them in there to play, you know, you're hurting the player and you're hurting your defense because he was drafted to play corner, slot, or safety. Any one of those, any one of those three positions.
Mhm.
And I just don't. I just annoys the shit out of me when coaches do that. They put a kid on their shit list, and then you know he ends up getting splinters in his ass from sitting. That's that's why you're saying I trade me. I want to get out of here. You know, go somewhere where they'll appreciate me. But there
Uh,
you go. I'm the only one talking. I should shut up.
sorry to interrupt. Are you finished talking, Charlie?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. Mike, so people have been saying rumors about a couple people a while back said that if Nick Sirianni gets fired by the end of the season, some people said that maybe Bill Belichick will be maybe the new head coach for the Eagles, like he's currently for the New England Patriots right now.
Right. Yeah, I think, I mean, that guy is just a wealth of knowledge. I mean, regular season, playoffs, Super Bowl. I mean, if it has to do with football, that guy's done it, you know. I mean,
Exactly right. I mean,
he's
and,
Bill Belichick.
right,
I mean, I hated the guy for so long. I mean, just because of not as a person, but
right,
just in the realm of football. But
right.
man, I think he'd be a phenomenal addition to the Eagles.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, because you think about the Patriots team. I mean, you had Tom Brady, you had Gronk, and you had that wide receiver who used to run the drag routes or whatever all the time and making incredible catches. And I can't remember his freaking name.
Rahul, what
Julian
was his name?
Julian Edelman.
What?
Julian Julian Edelman. He played. He was a receiver on the Patriots team, and there was some thought that he might get in the Hall of Fame just for what he does and did in the playoffs. He
Okay.
always took the occasion in the playoffs. You know,
Yeah,
Rahul,
I don't have a lot of hope for the Eagles, as unless some things change. And I think as long as Sirianni's in there, like I don't think it's going to be good for the Eagles. I think the Eagles need to get him out and bring somebody in, and light a spark underneath the team. And change isn't always a bad
I
thing.
feel like they should have done it before the season started.
That would have been ideal, right?
Yeah.
Roseman, I don't know what he was doing, man. He was sitting on his brain or something
What
because
was he
that
like? What was he thinking? Come on now, Holly Roseman. Come on. We need
Howie
a better
Rose,
coach.
he's general manager, and he hires and fires the coaches and gets the players.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely think the Eagles have the talent. I don't think that's the question. I think it's just, they need Jalen Hurts needs to find a set and lead this team. And I think, they need to bring somebody in who can lead the Eagles from the tip of the spear and just light a fire under them and just kind of start this season fresh.
Because if Belichick came in and got the job, the first thing he would do is evaluate Jalen Hurts as a quarterback.
Yeah, I
See,
mean, I think
watch a lot of tape, and if he doesn't think that he's the guy that can lead his team, he'll go find the guy. I mean, Christ, he had Tom Brady. I mean, it's
Mhm.
find a Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I
he was a
mean,
lifetime generational hero.
Bill
Yeah, he
Belichick.
won. Yeah, he won 7 Super Bowl
Yeah.
championships.
I mean, the guy knows how to win.
Yes, 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 and that's what the Eagles need. The guy running the offense, he has to be, you know, a step ahead of his teammates all the time.
Hmm.
Thinking of what we need to do to get the ball upfield and into the end zone.
Yeah.
Constantly, instead of making talking and bullshitting with the guys as they come into the huddle.
Yeah, and the turnovers. I mean, the turnovers have to stop. I mean, that's another thing with Hurts too. I mean, he's had how many turnovers recently, and I mean, you're not going to win football games by turning the ball over, and you got to be able to score in the red zone too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Charlie is a 49ers fan.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
oh.
Yeah, I'm a Christian McCaffrey man.
Hey,
I love him. I
I
think he's
like him. I really like him as a person and as a quarterback.
for Christian McCaffrey. He's a running back.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking, who's their quarterback?
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy. Yeah, that's who. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, so do I.
We got
He's got
two more
balls.
questions for you, and then William will do the closing statement.
Yeah.
No worries, man. Cool.
What do you think is the next Philadelphia team to win the finals? Who do you think will be the next Philadelphia team to win the finals?
I'm gonna say I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm gonna go with the Red October Phillies. I am. I'm saying it. You know, if they can come off this
Yeah.
break, and if they can play baseball like they know how to play baseball, if they can be aggressive at the plate, put the ball in play small ball, not make the stupid mistakes that you watch and you're like, oh my gosh, come on, where's your head at? If they can do those things, because I mean they got home field advantage. They got some big bats. So I mean, the Phillies are more than capable of winning the World
Oh
Series.
yeah. What is going to be important is Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, and Alec Boehm and Nick.
Mhm.
The four of them have to hit the ball, and they have to lead the team. Even if they got by the ass to get there. Get the job done, because if they start striking out and they're going to when you see them pull their head up like this as they're swinging the bat, they don't know what they're swinging at, and when they pull their heads out, they're pulling the bat back too. So I don't understand that. I mean, that's something that little kids are taught.
Yeah, and I feel like with our pitching too. I feel like if our pitching can go, 7 innings, and we only gotta, go to our bullpen for 1 or 2, I think that's going to help significantly too. If they can just take all the things they're good at and just bring it all together,
Right?
man, the Phillies. I don't think there's another team out there who could stop them.
No, yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I agree with you 100%. They have, but they got it. They got to come out. They got to have like fire in their breath.
Yeah.
And they have to get up, and they have to, when they come to the plate, don't be, I mean, maybe hold back off that first pitch,
Yeah.
right? Because usually when you'll see these guys hit the first pitch, it usually goes straight up in the air.
Yeah, and I feel like you want to make the opposing pitcher pitch. Like you want to get his pitch count up, and I don't feel like you really do that by going after early pitches. I feel like
Right.
you really want to make him get into the count.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And I have Milwaukee and New York on the TV right to my right here, and Milwaukee's winning 3-2.
Nice.
I'm sorry.
You mean Mets?
The Mets are Brewers 3-2.
What inning is it?
That's what the score is right now.
What inning?
I believe it's the 7th inning.
Okay, so there's still some time left.
Yeah, I mean they can score. They score a run to tie, and then they go into extra innings, and they play that funky extra innings thing where they put a guy at second base, which is a good idea. But the best way to play that is to think about moving him to third, getting him to third right away, and then has punch the ball through the infield, and he scores, and that's the game. You know. So.
And I don't want the Phillies to pitch Taijuan Walker.
No. They need. You know what? They just need to put him on the bench the rest of the season and just leave him there.
Yeah. Send him home. Tell him you go home and rest. We'll do our best without you.
All that guy does is blow games.
He's horrible.
He's horrible.
Any pitcher that make a habit of walking the leadoff batter in the inning,
Mm-hmm.
you know he's going to get punched around because walking the leadoff batter, he's going to score.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. I feel like when you walk that leadoff guy with no outs, like that's probably almost a guaranteed run.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
should be. It should be.
Yeah, and yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of things good about the Phillies, a lot of good things,
a lot, yeah.
But the opposite of those things, that can happen too. But I'm thinking positive, throwing all my positive aura into the universe.
Yep.
So that the Phillies can come out and kick some ass.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. It's what do they play 3 series? And that's it?
Well, I don't think they play in the wild card round. And then they'll play at home against either New York or Milwaukee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then hopefully they win that series, and then I don't know who they'll play after that. I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
They'll play the winner of the other side, the other part of the National League, the way it's cut up.
Yeah.
So that's the Dodgers and those guys over there.
Yep.
Now the Dodgers are loaded with talent. I mean, that I'll bet you Shohei Ohtani. I'm sorry with the names, but I bet you he pitches in the playoffs.
I think the Phillies and the Dodgers. I think that's going to be your National League Championship game right there.
Yeah, it sounds
like it.
And then in the American League, I mean, you have the Kansas City Royals. They won today, and Baltimore got knocked out. Who was Baltimore playing? Well, whoever Baltimore played knocked them out of the playoffs.
Okay, I was going to say Baltimore was a good team this year.
Yeah, they sure are. A lot of good teams. It all comes down to when they click. If you get them coming out and they start to peak, this is time to peak now, and if they can come out of this into these playoffs the way they started the season and just started hitting the ball all over the ballpark, they will win. Nobody will stop them because they have Wheeler, Nolan, and Christian Sanchez. You only need 3 starters in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think you need more than 3, but
no. I mean,
good start.
It started with 3 starters.
Bring Spencer Turnbull back. Spencer
all right, comes back. Yeah, I mean, but all I was saying was if you have 3 starters that you can put up there against that team right away. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
3 of them pitchers. And I think that plus their bullpen. I think they have an excellent bullpen. And if they could get a 4th starter that they could use maybe in a situation where they need long relief or they need to do something they need another starter. So I mean that would be good if like Spencer Turnbull came back because he was doing a hell of a job at the beginning of the season. Then he got himself hurt.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah.
But,
hey, do you have any advice to college students and for anyone who's looking for a job?
Oh man, just I'd say, be humble. Come off, come off as, caring, I feel like the only way with, the way the world is right now, we gotta look after each other. We gotta take care of each other. I think if we actually sat down and talked, we'd realize we have more in common than what divides us. So I think, Yeah, man, I think it's, stay humble, treat others the golden rule, treat others as you want to be treated, be respectful, and, help each other out where you can, you know, random acts of kindness,
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
and you know what,
that was a great point.
I'm a person of faith, so you know what, I put Jesus Christ first. He's my Lord and Savior, and I trust in him. So I try every day, I try and, to be his light, let somebody see him through me. And I fall short, but that's why we have him,
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I,
you're
ag- I
know,
agree with you, Mike.
Yeah, I agree with you too.
yeah.
So
I mean, that's a good thing, Mike. I mean, having that kind of relationship with your God, uh, that's a very good thing to do, because then you feel like there's somebody battling along with you.
man, that's the only thing that keeps me going most days, because you know what, it's not me, it's
We
him.
and plus we always need to have a positive attitude, no matter how things are going.
Yeah, because you know what, regardless of the situation, God is with you and God is working for you.
Uh, Mike, thank you for being a guest on our show.
Man, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me,
Next
buddy.
next week we have a special guest. His name is Irving Fryer. He used to play for the Eagles. He's
Nice.
going to be a guest. So, William, you want to do the closing statement?
Sure thing, Rahul. Thank you everyone for listening to our show for tonight. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and catch a replay of mongoradio.com every Friday night at 11 o'clock p.m. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
And one more
Yes.
thing, be sure to click and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Is that-
you, Mike.
All right. Be blessed.
Yeah.
Yes.